Identity checks stay invisible until they fail. A breach exposes them, an audit questions them, and suddenly they matter. That's not because identity isn't important. It's because speed often wins, right up until control is lost. This is Sequenza Insights. In some enterprises, trust is assumed far too often. And every time trust is assumed, a risk is created. Organizations now operate with thousands of access points: people, devices, applications, APIs, and systems. Every login, every permission, every access request is a decision about trust. Attackers know this. They look for the places where identity is assumed instead of verified. Auditors usually identify these weaknesses only after they've already been exploited. For years, identity verification was treated as a one-time event. Verify the user, grant access, move on, but the environment changed. Cloud infrastructure expanded. Remote work became permanent. Automation and AI accelerated access decisions. Identity stopped being static, but security controls did not. People change devices. Behavior shifts. Access patterns drift. Yet many systems still rely on yesterday's verification to protect today's access. That's often when breaches begin. Strong security doesn't rely on trust that was established once and never questioned again. It treats every access request as a fresh decision. When someone tries to access a system, identity is evaluated at that exact moment. Not just who the user claims to be, but what device they're using, where the request is coming from, and whether the context matches normal behavior. Verification becomes situational, tied to time, location, and activity, rather than a permanent state. From there, risk-based controls come into play. Instead of granting the same level of access to every approved user, the system assesses how risky the request actually is. A routine action from a familiar environment may pass with minimal friction. A sensitive request, or one that looks unusual, triggers tighter controls automatically. That might mean additional verification, reduced access, or closer monitoring. The goal isn't to slow people down, it's to reduce exposure when risk increases. Least privilege ties it all together. Access is granted only to what's needed, nothing more, and only for as long as it's needed. Permissions are narrowly scoped and time-limited, so even if access is misused, the impact stays contained. This approach shifts security from a static gate to a continuous process. Access is no longer based on who someone was when they first logged in. It's based on who they are right now, how they're behaving, and whether the request makes sense in the current context. And when confidence drops, the system responds immediately. Access can be restricted, challenged, or denied before damage has a chance to spread. That's what strong security looks like: deliberate, adaptive, and in control of every access decision. Security failures rarely happen because systems were too strict. They happen because systems were too trusting. Convenience optimizes for speed. Control optimizes for resilience. Verification is not about making access easier. It is about making access intentional. Once access is granted, it becomes leverage, and unmanaged leverage always becomes a risk. When identity assumptions fail, the consequences escalate quickly. Unauthorized access leads to data exposure. Data exposure leads to compliance violations. Compliance violations lead to regulatory scrutiny, fines, and reputational damage. Most breaches are not caused by advanced exploits. They are caused by trusted access being misused. Strong identity control stops incidents before they spread, and before auditors ever get involved. Identity verification doesn't end once access is granted. It is an ongoing decision. Security that relies on assumptions will eventually fail. Security that verifies continuously stays in control. Because identity is not just who someone is. It's how they access, how they behave, and whether they should be trusted right now. This is not about convenience. It's about control over every access decision.